Yo, what up, guys? Beside here, this is a champion guide or champion spotlight for Elder Skarg, a legendary champion from the barbarian faction who is no stranger to raid, but is kind of being forgotten slowly because a new set of champions have come out over the years. But he still remains as very respected member of the raid community for those players who remember him doing a lot of damage back then in the clan boss. So I'll direct your attention straight up to his A2, and that is his main damage dealing ability. Yes, the role of this champion in your team is to do damage, and his damage is based on attack. Of course, you have crit rate and crit damage for any champion like that. So but attack is what he really, thrives on, not defense and HP and all that. Attack is what you want to stack on this champion, along with crit rate 100% and crit damage as much as you can go. But before I show you his gear, let me direct your attention that this is a skill that attacks one enemy 3 times. You think that's the end of it? No, this skill also has the ability of placing 3 extra hits. That's 6 entire times, right? So you're not just hitting 3 times. There are some conditions that if met, he will hit an extra 3 times right here. He just showed some blades coming up from the sky and hitting that same enemy 3 extra times. If these 3 extra hits happen though, he will land HP burn and through fear on the enemy. But for those 3 extra hits to happen, the enemy have to have up to 3 debuff on them. So I think that's the condition right here, right? Places HP burn on debuff and all that. If the attack places 3 extra hits, places an extra hit for each buff or debuff on the target. So if the target has 2 debuffs, he will place 2 extra hit. If the target has 1 debuff extra, just decrease defense, he will place 1 extra hit. So that's the maximum. I wish he could play up to like 10 extra hit, but no. Newer champions coming up these days can even place more extra hit on the bosses, especially based on the amount of debuff the boss has on them. But he just stops at 3. So that's this damage dealing ability. Put 3 debuffs on the enemies before you use this skill. Decrease defense, weaken, and maybe decrease attack or slow speed, whichever combination. It doesn't only count for debuffs now, it also counts for buffs. If the enemies has, or especially for the arena, if they have increased attack, increased defense, increased speed on them, it will count as 1 extra hit. So whether they have buffs on them or they have debuffs on them, including shields, bolster set, all those stone skin. So I'm gonna test him in the arena to see if he can melt some people's shield, like all those champions who start the battle with a bunch of shield and ally protection from a neck crit. Maybe he can use his 3 extra hits. I don't think any champion can survive 6 hits. We'll test it out in battles to see if we can melt some tanks. Yes, that's what he's best known for, melting tanks who have a bunch of shield and protection on them. So let me see right here on this A3, this champion will place, this is a survivor skill, I guess. He places increased defense on himself, and remember this skill already places HP burn and true fear. That means it's an AoE HP burn and true fear. Places HP burn debuff for 2 turns and on all enemies. So it's not just on the one enemy that you place 3 extra hit. This HP burn and true fear will spread out to the other enemies. That makes him very viable for the spider. So yes, back in the days, this champion was best known as one of the champions who could help you control the spider links, because true fear is one of the ways you could control them if you do not have a champion who can stun them or freeze that spider links. True fear is also very, very viable as a way of controlling enemies in PvP content. Just wanted to mention that because it's coming up again in his A3, but this time it comes out as a true fear, places true fear debuff on the target for 1 turn. If they have if they are under block damage, that's conditional. If they are under shield, he will place decreased speed on them. That's very, very conditional. But the main thing about this skill is that these debuffs that he places cannot be resisted. I'm talking about the block, the true fear and the shield, and the decreased speed on champions who have shield. This skill will place increased defense on him and also places a fear debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. If you're gonna use this champion against the dragon, against the spider, if the boss especially, or the enemies don't have 3 debuffs on them plus or buff, you want to start the battle with this is A3 skill, especially against content where you want to place fear on them. So if I go into the spider, I'm starting the battle first with this A3. If I go into some arena content, I want to start the battle with this A3 to make the enemies miss their turn with a fear on them. So that's basically what this skill is all about. Placing increased defense on himself and placing fear on the enemies, which will probably make them have a chance of missing their turn. So you don't really care about all this other through fear and this decrease speed on shielded enemies. No, you just want to place this fear at least on them. So now onto the passive. This champion is amazing because of this amazing passive. It's kind of unique. He receives 15% less damage from legendaries. So if you come against some, especially in the arena where everybody's using their best legendaries, Abita and all that, he will receive 15% less damage from them. Now add that to whatever damage mitigation is being done by a Duchess or being done by shielding or any protection you have on him. This champion will most likely survive the first hit of the enemies for PvP content. Against bosses, it doesn't receive anything like that. But then he inflicts damage equal to his attack when legendary champions attack him. So basically, let's say he's at 7k attack, right? If you can put him up to 7,000 attack, and then a champion from the enemy team attack him, just like a Rotos just goes to nuke him down. Check out that Rotos health. That Rotos almost killed himself for hitting this champion. So it's almost like a what do you call that buff? A retaliation. It's not retaliation. There's a buff from Brogni that does that, or from Geomancer. If you hit me, you take reflex and damage. Is like they are reflecting the damage back to themselves, equal to his amount of attack, not to equal to the amount of damage they are doing to you. No, it's how high his attack is will determine how much damage he reflects back up to them. So that's why I say attack is very, very important to this champion. If you understand the skits right now, let me show you one more. The A1 is just gonna attack one enemy. It places increased speed buff on him, on himself. It doesn't place all these buffs on other people, just on himself. If this attack is critical, of course, he's a damage dealer, he will always crit. So therefore you have this increased speed happening a lot. And if he doesn't crit for some weird reason, if you don't have him high crit rate, or if he hits weak hits because it's force affinity, he will place increased crit rate on himself instead. So on this champion, if the attack is not crit, so that's it. You can place him in the lower slot if you don't have enough crit rate for those early game players who are struggling, but the crit rate glove could always get that one done. Now that you know his kit, he's from the barbarian faction. He helped me a lot in that faction wars, and let me go over there and show you how I built that champion back in the day. I've revised his builds today, and let me show you right now how he's looking like in my account, and now let's test him out in some content. All right, that's my new 2023 build for Elder Skarg. This build will work in every content I want to use him in. Remember, this is a champion that requires accuracy. We talked about his kit just now, and you saw a lot of fear. You saw a lot of true fear. You saw a lot of what else? What other debuff does it place? HP burn. So for this to happen, you need accuracy on this champion. If you do not need him for accuracy, you want to go pure damage, it's your choice. But if you want to use him for the spider, you need accuracy on this champion. That's why I see me going towards a one-piece set of perception right here to give me enough accuracy, just in case my banner is not enough to give me accuracy. So that's why I went towards this set for accuracy. Now for the rest of these damage sets, you can see right here, this is an equivalent of going for going for savage sets right here. Let me scroll to savage. Did I just pass it? Yes. That's it right here. This is the first beginner set I'll suggest to anybody going right here to build this champion. Elder Skarg is going to be doing a lot of damage from that A3 that is going to be placing up to 6 hits on the enemies. So you want each of those hits to at least be ignoring a percentage of the enemy's defense. That's where the savage or lethal comes in. Lethal is an upgrade to savage. I wouldn't recommend it except you have good start for it. Lethal is an end game gear for those people who can actually farm the Dark Fae at higher level Heart of the Doom Tower. So that's an upgrade to savage. These are the two best sets you'll find anybody building in your Elder Skarg. I don't care whether it's an arena Elder Skarg, whether it's a spider Elder Skarg. Maybe Elder Skarg for spider is in triple set of perception. And then for those players who are using him even in a Hydra, this champion can just nuke those Hydra heads. It doesn't matter, especially when they have a bunch of debuffs on them. It will hit one, triple hits, even rescue your champion that got taken right by the Hydra heads. It will rescue them out in one hit because it hits 6 times, and each of those hits might proc his masteries. Hopefully, I'll show you the mastery I set on him also. So these are the two best sets. I will stay on this page so you can get it right. Savage set or lethal set. Endgame for beginner players, I just go triple perception set. It's fine. You don't yet start, you have not started beating the Fire Knight, so you don't even have one good set of savage, not to talk of perception, and not to talk of this this lethal set. Go triple perception. That's a beginner set, I guess. Or for those players who are starting to get some amazing gear from the clan boss, he can also benefit from 3-piece set of this crew set. A lot of people building only for arena will go these 4 pieces of this lethal and go a 2-piece of crew. So that will mean that he will be ignoring a little bit of defense from that crew that has 5% ignore defense. I tried to give him crew, but it was reducing my accuracy. That's why I was like, I'll stick with perception for now. So this is the build. If I click on this artifact, you see me going. I have speed, so this is not a slow champion. Definitely Nukas in the arena want to be 150, 160, 170 speed, but I tried to hit 180 speed on my champion because I wanted to use him for PvE content, and maybe not just arena where he can be slow and come last. I wanted to also use him in PvE content, even maybe in Doom Tower to nuke down some enemies who are hard to kill and tanky. So that's why I added speed, not just crit rate and crit damage in this type of build. You see triple speed also on the helmet right here with crit rate, and then I started getting my crit rate and then crit damage, of course, and then I looked for attack. Attack is another stat I'm looking for. Once I hit the crit rate requirement, I look for attack to boost my attack up. On the chest, of course, is going towards attack because he needs it. Check out my boots. Like I said, if I wanted him to be 200 speed, 220, I'll go speed boots. But because I was fine with 180 speed, that's why I went attack on the boots. So make sure you hit your speed requirements based on the content you're trying to beat. If, let's say, for the Hydra, you want to be able 200 speed for the Hydra. You can't be fighting the Hydra at 150, 160 speed Elder Skarg, right? So if I wanted to build this champion for the Hydra or for clan boss that needs specific speed, although for the clan boss, he's one of the slowest champion in your team who can be about 168 speed. So that's a perfect clan boss build right here. I will test this champion out in the clan boss towards the end of this video. Maybe that's what we'll end the video with, to see how much damage he's doing to the clan boss. We'll put together a team for that. So that's his stats. For his ring, of course, I'm going towards attack, and then for the amulet we'll go towards crit damage and some attack substats right here, and then attack. You see why I went perception? Because I didn't want to give this champion an accuracy banner. Now if I'm going to require 300 accuracy for some content, I'll simply switch out this banner and replace it with an accuracy banner. But because I have attack, I have perception 1-piece set right here, that gives me the it gave me the permission to use an attack banner. So make sure you use an accuracy banner if you do not have enough accuracy yet for the level of content you're trying to beat. All right, for a total stats of all this attack you saw right here, I managed to push up to 6,500 attack. That was after I hit my 224 crit damage mark. Of course, it's always recommended you go up to 250, close to 300 crit damage before you begin to look forward to too much attack. But because of this is an arena build, I wanted to pump the attack up so that when he gets hit, the enemy that hits him take a little bit of damage at least. So I didn't want to come here with 5k or 4k attack and then 250 crit damage. It's a balance. If you want more crit damage, reduce your attack, add more there. But this is what my gear could do. And of course, my accuracy is not enough for some content, high level content, but it's more than enough for arena. This is high arena accuracy. This is dungeon 20, dungeon 24, 25 is enough accuracy for those type of spider content. So no resistance on this champion required. I wish my crit damage could go higher though. My crit rate 100%, like I said, and check out my speed 183. I didn't focus on HP and defense, but I got a little to keep this champion alive so he doesn't die in one hit if we don't go first. For masteries on this champion, I headed towards a arena focused mastery, Hem Smasher. If you're building this champion for clan boss, if you're building this champion for Hydra, if you're building this champion for dungeon content in general, please go towards Giant Slayer. Even if he has an A1 that hits once, right? Remember, his A2 hits up to 6 times. And we usually put Giant Slayer on champions who has multiple hits on their A1 or who have crazy amount of hits on another skill, like Finn. So in a relentless set. So this is Giant Slayer right here that I would recommend for a lot of players going for clan boss build, Hydra build, dungeon build. Go towards Giant Slayer. For anybody who is trying to use this champion for arena nuking, Hem Smasher, because it will ignore or has a chance of ignoring even more defense from the enemies. Those are the two masteries. I've even seen some people for clan boss. You don't want support 3 for clan boss because he's not coming there to do fear and all that stuff, right? You usually don't need accuracy for a clan boss build. You just want to go towards this defense and head towards this counter attack retribution right here for clan boss build. Do not go towards the support 3. You don't benefit anything from accuracy, from landing. What can you land on the clan boss? Nothing he has can land on the clan boss. Those is fear and all those other debuffs. So it's not on the clan boss. So don't go towards that. I even added this Mastery Shield Breaker to actually melt some of those champions in the arena that I'll be going against who have some heavy shielding. So, all right, let's see his I've talked about his masteries. For blessing, of course, for any damage dealer in raid who deals so much damage. Soul Reap for arena. And then for those players who might be using this champion for clan boss, maybe you want to go towards Brimstone if nobody else in your team is currently doing it. It will not add a little bit, any bit of stats to him, will it? No, HP, accuracy, speed. So that's why a lot of people will even use Soul Reap for content like the clan boss. They even add that more attack and crit damage depending on how high you have it unlocked. I don't have any blessing on him yet, but I'll recommend Soul Reap to add more attack stats to him instead of Brimstone. All right, it's time for us to head into some content and test this champion out. I'll head straight first to the spider because that's where a lot of newer players who use this champion who do not yet have anybody to take care of the wave or the spiderlings to kind of place that true fear on them. So I put together a team like this, a sample team. I brought somebody to put increased attack. I brought somebody to do increased defense and weaken, and then I brought somebody to boost my attack a little bit more. And let's see what Elder Skarg can do. Oh, I'm currently level 20 is negative affinity against 20 because it's force. Let me go 19. Let's go to a lower level, 19. I just want to do a damage test. That's still 20. And then we'll go towards the arena and test that content out and end it with the clan boss run. I'll put it on manual and slow speed. Let's really understand how this champion actually works and how you want to use him. Of course, I have my attack boosted, so that's a good thing, right? Always. And then now I want to place 3 debuffs on the boss, the spider, before I use Elder Skarg's main damage dealing ability. And I did. I got 3 debuffs on the spider boss right here. It can be buffs, it can be debuffs. As long as they are up to 3, Elder Skarg will use his biggest damage dealing ability, which you want him to use. So we're moving up to him and get ready for his damage to see how much he can actually do in this battle. Meter boosting again. Now it's time for him to shine. If you do not have anybody to stun the waves like this, start the battle with this fear, please. Just so the spiderlings don't take down one of your champions, so your Cold Heart, your Omega and all that. You want to place this fear on them. Although true fear is better, this one will land through fear. Now that you saw that the Spider Queen has 3 debuffs on them, there is a 100% guaranteed chance that we will land this through fear on the boss and the HP burn at the same time. So again, I'll repeat it. If the spider has 3 debuffs on her, use this skill. If the spider has only 2 debuffs on her, please use this skill. That's it. All right, let me go over there and use this skill and put it in 1x speed and see what happens. That's not a lot of damage. That was fast. 62k. I saw 72k. Is hitting 6 times. That's not a lot of damage, dude. I thought it would just move the spider's health to 1 HP. Well, it's not a champion that does enemy max HP, so it's kind of unfair for me to expect that from him. But anyways, that's what he does. He just landed through fear and all the spiderlings, and now if they get a turn, they will miss their turn and they will not hit me. Let me see one of them get a turn. Check out the spiderlings on the field. They'll also tick that HP burn because we have, see, HP burn is ticking right now. Let me still use my A1. I want to see how much damage his A1 will do. Then we'll go in. This is A3 does not hit. More increased attack. He's so slow. Everybody's doing 2 turns and he's still sitting there waiting for his next turn. All right, now if the spiderlings don't have fear enough, I can place this one again. But now we want to test this A1 and see how much damage you can do on this one. That's 124k. Not a lot, not up to a enemy max HP nuker like this who just go crazy like 900. But you can tell the difference. He's not just there for damage, he's just there for other utility. HP burn and what do you call it? Fear. Through fear. So he's there for those 2 things in PvE content like this. Let's end this battle and move over to PvP content to see how we can help you do that high amount of damage with an A1. It's respected damage with an A1. You have to agree that no champion on the enemy team can survive over 100 and something damage coming from Elder Skarg A1 in the arena. So let me go test that over there and test his A2 also. Let's place this. I should have used the A1 again. Why did I use his fear? See, his fear does not hit the enemy. So let's go. And I put it on 2 speed. The spider is about to take a turn, or if we can kill him first. Meter boosting. All right, we're back to this double skill. Still didn't kill all of them, but okay. Enemy max HP champions are best for spider. He's just here for mostly control and HP burn. You can expect a champion like Mordecai who is doing HP burn to do a lot of damage. So I guess that's why they didn't give him enemy max HP nukes. But these days in spider hard, we deal with enemy max HP nukes from a rare guard, from a husk, and that's how you usually want to do damage to that type of content. All right, now that you've seen how this champion works in PvE content, how you can help you in your teams, it works similar way in the dragon, in Fire Knight. You can use it in that way. Let me head over to the arena and show an actual battle in the arena against maybe a tanky team who, let's see who can melt their tank. I see a husk. Oh, I thought I've replaced him out of this team. End. Sorry. That's a shield. So that counts as 1 debuff on the enemies, right? Let's go back to that team. But this time, put their skills on cooldown. Yes. Lydia. I need like 3 debuffs. I'm looking for a way to go for 3 debuffs on the enemies. I guess this is the right time to go for a go second team, like with the Duchess. Let them go first and all that, right? And we slowly kill them. Recently used. Let's just do something, a test like this. I do have increased attack, yes. I don't have decreased defense and weaken though. Let's replace this with this. Hopefully I don't get nuked. But let's see if we can survive. And I actually want to see the enemies killing themselves by doing damage to me. Because they will go first and let's see if we survive. So he's protected. Are we gonna die in this first hit? We didn't even get a chance. Well, they have a bunch of buffs on them. Let me see what I can do to this champion. And I will lose this one here, but let me see how much damage I can do to this. What's his name? That's a lot of damage. That's a lot. A champion who is this tanky goes half health. That's a lot of damage. Now that's not how I normally would use him. I just wanted to have an opportunity to test out his his A3. But if you want to go first, let me see if I go first against a team like this. What happens if I go first? With my increased attack and all that stuff. If I can still do the same thing. I'm replacing their buffs with my debuffs, putting their skills on cooldown. He's getting hit. Check out Abita. She just took some damage for just hitting me based on my attack. They don't have 3 debuffs, so I will go with this one and put some fear and provoke. So he is even calling for the hits. He placed provoke on them. He's calling for the hit. Say, hit me. Let me go with decreased speed, see if they will allow me to get a turn. This is the biggest threat on the team. If he hits me, he's gonna kill himself. This dude. Let me just allow him to take a turn. I have decreased defense on him though, on myself though. That's a problem. Alright, let me kill Abita. How about that? That's 22, 22, 22. 3 swords. Now if I hit up to 6 swords, that would be 22 times 6. She can't survive that at all. I'm waiting for this champion to hit me and kill himself. What's his name? Ooh, he survived it. I thought he was supposed to die. Why? Is it because I had decreased attack on myself? He took less damage than he was supposed to. Normally, if you hit an Elder Skarg with a high amount of damage, you're dead, basically. Now he's beginning to show himself. I think it's because I had decreased attack on myself. I'm not losing this one. Let me see my A1. If my A1 can take down... No, I have decreased attack. I can't take down anybody with this A1 right now. See, 45k. I wanted to see it hit for 100k. But that decreased attack is a problem. He's been provoked. That means he's going to use his A1. But he has decreased attack again. Alright, let's end this battle and move over to the last content. That's 39k. I chose the wrong thing to test this. With all this decreased attack, I can't really test my damage. But you did see the damage he dealt in the last battle. That's what he was supposed to do here. But they keep placing decreased attack on me from this crazy champion. And I can't really utilize my full potential. Let's end it. 20k, 20k with decreased attack. Anyways, that's the arena battle right there. If you want to use him as your PvE damage dealing nuker, place your debuffs on the enemies and start the battle based on what they have on them. So let me head over to final content, whether it's the Hydra or the Clan Boss, whichever one you want to use this champion for. I'm going to test him against the well, this is a speed tuned team. Let me put him against this team that is not speed tuned. Normally you want this champion in an unkillable comp. Yes, unkillable comp. And I'll take out my ninja, who is my damage dealer over there, and insert this, my Elder Skarg. As the Clan Boss changed affinity, okay, it's right affinity. Let's just see a sample run of how much damage I can do. I'll probably end the battle. No, I'm not gonna do quick battle and waste my key. I'll just start it on auto and see how the battle goes. I'll be right back, maybe at the end or when the battle fails, to see. Well, I don't even need to run it all the way to the end. Let me just put decrease defense and decrease attack and do some damage and see. Let me do damage right now. That's 100, 100, 100, 100, 100 times 6. He just did 600k damage in his first kill. Tell me that's not impressive. Let's wait for it to come around again. Now remember, the more this battle goes on, the more damage he'll be doing towards this boss. I need to lock out this skill. For the Clan Boss here, you need to lock out this skill because it does no damage. So you do not need him using this skill in the Clan Boss at all. So you want to focus on only A1 and A2. A1, 149k, just like we saw in the spider battle. So that's the two skills he's supposed to be using in this battle right here. Let me come around again to that A2. If you leave it on auto, let me see, will he use the A3 against the Clan Boss? He used it. He used it, which is a total waste. Please lock out that A3. Don't let him use it against the Clan Boss, else you're losing out an opportunity to use his A1. So I think this time around I did good by showing a champion in all the areas where you can actually use him. Arena, dungeons, and of course Clan Boss. 113, 106, 96 times 6 because he's hitting 3 times and extra 3 times based on the Clan Boss has more than 3 debuffs on him. So that's what I wanted to showcase, that this champion can be your damage dealer default damage dealer in the clan boss. Remember, there are other champions like Fane who do something similar, like Jintoro who does something similar. A lot of champions, the more they hit the clan boss and the more damage they can do. So he falls amongst that category. You just have to bring somebody to debuff the clan boss, have a bunch of champions to keep him alive. And whether it's a savage set, remember, for savage set like this, you need an unkillable team. If not, you probably want to go with a set like Stalwart that will keep him alive a little bit and not take too much damage. I have a bunch of shield and block, a lot of champions, a lot of stats like here to keep him alive. But so finally we can do enough damage to finally take down this boss. That's my Elder Skarg champion guide right here. I can't believe I didn't talk about him all these years. But remember, check out my faction war guide for barbarian faction in the playlist. You see me using this champion in that faction war 21. He helped me take down the boss. That's the only time I've used him, and since then he's been chilling in my vault until today when I revamped his build right now. Will I be using him now in some new content? I don't think so. I just wanted to showcase this guide for those players who are obtaining him and finding out whether you can use him or not. Why am I not using him? Because I have other champions like Gnot, Acrasia. You know, I have a lot of other crazy champions. Now, if you're new and you don't have other crazier champions like him, go ahead and use him. I currently use Fane as my damage dealer in the clan boss. Maybe he could serve that purpose, but you have to take note of that A3 and lock it out. So he only uses his A2 and A1. Let me know what you think about this champion, Elder Skarg. Is it still viable in 2023 in your teams in Raid Shadow Legends, or you have also relegated to only using in barbarian faction wars? Hopefully there are some new content that comes along where it can be used. For now, I'm gonna be using it only in barbarian faction wars, or until a special tournament requires me to use barbarians in the dungeons. I look forward to your feedback about this champion in the comments below. Comment below which champion you want me to take a look at next. You can see I do thorough guides like this and show you my champion builds recommendations for early game players and newer players. Like and subscribe for more daily Raid Shadow Legends content. Later guys, I enjoyed this one.